Lithium orotate is an over-the-counter nutraceutical that consists of orotic acid, which is a compound produced naturally in the body, and lithium, an alkali metal. Lithium is present in the diet, mainly in grains and vegetables. This is why the supplement is often called nutritional lithium. Lithium has been added to the World Health Organization's list of nutritionally essential trace elements. Lithium metal is in drinking water of many cities, and there's a correlation of lowered incidences of crime, suicides, and arrests related to drug addictions in these areas. This suggests that lithium at low doses has a beneficial effect on human behavior. Another clinical indication of lithium orotate is for impulsive aggressive behavior, which is associated with ADHD. Lithium is regarded as a neuroprotective agent. It's being studied in certain neurodegenerative disorders, namely Alzheimer's disease, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, and Parkinson's disease. It's been shown to disrupt glycogen synthase kinase 3, which is a key enzyme responsible for the development of amyloid plaques and neurofibrillary tangles, which are associated with Alzheimer's disease. Lithium is classified as an essential micronutrient, which means that all humans require it in small doses for good health. Lithium carbonate is typically used at high doses and requires a doctor's prescription and careful monitoring of blood lithium levels, unlike lithium orotate, which is safe for home use. Prescription lithium, lithium carbonate, is effective for bipolar and possibly effective for depression, ADHD, and schizophrenia. Lithium protects the brain. Trace amounts of lithium have been hypothesized to potentially help prevent mental disorders and reduce aggression and impulsiveness. Low doses are somewhat researched in depression, and some early evidence suggests a potential effectiveness. Ongoing research is currently exploring lithium's potential effects on cellular repair, neurogenesis, and overall lifespan. Doctors have long known that lithium is a mood stabilizer. It's one of the oldest drugs for treating bipolar disorder, and it's still the preferred medical treatment for this condition. Lithium is FDA approved for the use in the treatment of bipolar disorder. It's used to treat acute mania or depression in patients with bipolar disorder, as well as prevent the recurrence of mania episodes. Lithium is used off-label for depression. Although it's not officially FDA approved for this medical application, some evidence suggests that it's effective in some patients with certain forms of depression. However, other antidepressants are typically prescribed before lithium treatment is tried. Additionally, lithium is sometimes added on to treatment alongside more conventional antidepressants like SSRIs. One meta-analysis of clinical trials concluded that prescription lithium did not significantly help in preventing suicide in patients with bipolar disorder or depression when compared to a placebo. However, once the authors revised the data to exclude one especially low-quality study, they suggest that lithium may actually reduce the suicide risk better than the placebo after all. Two other meta-analyses have suggested that adding lithium to certain types of antidepressants, tricyclic and second-generation antidepressants, may help to improve symptoms of depression in some of these patients. Some early research suggests that prescription lithium might reduce impulsive aggressiveness behaviors which are associated with ADHD. Lithium is sometimes added to antipsychotic drugs for treating schizophrenia. Some clinical studies suggest that this add-on approach might improve symptoms in people that are prescribed first-generation antipsychotics. Additionally, studies suggest that lithium should not be added to second-generation antipsychotics like risperidone or clonazepine. Prescription lithium is sometimes added to antidepressants when treating patients who haven't successfully responded to conventional antidepressants. Some early research suggests that adding low doses of lithium may also have an effect in the depression treatment. One study examining 51 patients with depression who didn't respond to the treatment of venlafaxine, when low-dose lithium was added to their normal venlafaxine treatment, about half of the patients reported improvement in their symptoms. After testing microdoses of lithium, a Brazilian research team investigated subtherapeutic lithium in a randomized control double-blind trial in 45 patients with mild cognitive impairment. Subtherapeutic lithium was reported to delay the progression of the mild cognitive impairment over the 1-year course of the tested treatment. One review of multiple preliminary small-scale studies has reported that lithium may reduce the severity of cluster headaches, a rare but severe type of headaches. Subtherapeutic levels of lithium were reported to improve symptoms in many of the tested patients. According to one theory, lithium may also help in hypnic headache, sometimes called alarm clock headaches. This rare type of headache usually affects the elderly, waking them from sleep at around the same time each night. One series of case studies has reported that low-dose lithium at 150 milligrams improved the movement and behavioral symptoms in 3 patients with Huntington's disease. One low-dose lithium formulation is currently in development for the treatment of Huntington's. Preliminary animal studies suggest that this new drug may improve the motor function and prevent brain cell death, although clinical data is still lacking. Lithium may have unique effects on suicidal behavior. Limited evidence suggests that prescription lithium reduces risk in people with mood disorders better than some antidepressants and antipsychotic medications. Some epidemiological studies have reported a potential link between trace amounts of lithium in groundwater and lower suicide rates. Higher lithium levels in public drinking water have also been linked to lower suicide rates, according to one study looking at water samples from 226 counties in Texas. A similar association between lithium levels and suicide rates has been brought up in multiple countries, including Japan, Italy, Lithuania, and Greece. Lithium seems to make people more mellow and easygoing. That is, scientists suspect it makes people less likely to engage in behavior that might put them in jail. Lithium deficiency, on the other hand, has been linked to increased aggression and violent behavior. Some research claims that areas with higher concentration of lithium in the drinking water have lower rates of homicide, rape, and theft. This is according to a study looking at 9 years' worth of data from 27 counties in Texas. A study performed in Greece reported similar results. Cities with higher levels of lithium in public water supply also seemed to have lower incidence rates of homicide, rape, and drug abuse. A very large-scale study performed in Denmark compared drinking water samples from over 800,000 people. This study reported that people drinking water with higher amounts of lithium appeared to show relatively lower rates of dementia compared to those people whose drinking water contained less lithium. Higher lithium levels in drinking water have also been linked with a lower risk of death in Alzheimer's patients, according to one study looking at water samples from 234 counties in Texas. The first study of a Brazilian team of scientists interested in the cognitive effects of lithium investigated microdoses of lithium. They used 300 micrograms per day of elemental lithium over 15 months, which is about 1.5 milligrams of lithium carbonate. That's 100 times less than a low-dose lithium treatment. They reported that this microdose may be associated with reduced cognitive impairment in Alzheimer patients. Due to skepticism, the Brazilian research team had to go back and pinpoint potential dementia preventative mechanisms of lithium microdoses in animals. According to the research, they proposed that lithium may be protecting brain cells from damage as well by possibly increasing brain-derived nootropic factor levels. One study, published in 1982, treated 42 alcoholic patients with 150 milligrams of lithium orotate daily for at least 6 months. The authors claimed that around 1/3 of the patients went 1 to 3 years without relapsing, and that 1/4 of them went 3 to 10 years without relapse. The same study reported some mild side effects, including muscle weakness, loss of appetite, and mild apathy. However, these were said to disappear when the supplement was given less frequently. As a prescription medication, lithium is used to treat several psychiatric conditions, including bipolar disorder, depression, and schizophrenia. One curious phenomena dates over 100 years back, and it's known as the crazy waters of Texas. While many mineral springs contain lithium, the mineral wells in Texas became famously known as crazy waters. Texas had many mineral water resorts back in the 19th century, and thousands of crazy people and those with various chronic health problems used to travel to the springs in order to get the healing benefits of lithium. Others reported good health just from living nearby. In Ireland, in County Kerry, there's Glown na Gowl, which is the Valley of the Lunatics, and the water in the springs there is high in lithium and has similar healing stories attributed to it. There's one anecdotal case from France in the 1930s. The French physician, Dr. Rhys Bryan, recalls that a preparation called Dr. Gustin's lithium was especially popular in southern France around that time. It's quite simply for that reason that you don't have a lot of manic depressives in Marseille, he said. Only one recent study provides us with partial clues. According to one survey of over 3,000 Japanese students, those with higher levels of lithium in their local tap water reported fewer symptoms of depression. However, this association was not confirmed by additional follow-up studies, suggesting that this reported finding may not be genuine. One study in Texas found an association between higher trace levels of lithium in tap water and lower rates of death by any cause. According to some scientists, future studies should determine whether lithium can increase the length of telomeres, small proteins that cap DNA-holding chromosomes, and which have been widely implicated in the human aging process. The longer telomeres are, the more leeway cells have to divide. Some researchers have described the length of telomeres as something like the sand in the top part of a lifespan hourglass. The more people have, the more time they have left. This is just one hypothesis though, and it's still unverified. Other scientists say that lithium may improve mitochondrial turnover, which maintains healthy mitochondria. However, this effect has only been reported in roundworms. Additionally, mitochondrial health has only been linked to lifespan by a handful of limited studies, so this connection remains unconfirmed. Preliminary reports from a few animal studies may suggest that subtherapeutic lithium could potentially block the NMDA receptor, which could theoretically prevent cellular damage caused by excessive glutamate activity, known as excitotoxicity. Scientists are also exploring whether lithium inhibits GSK3, an enzyme that plays several critical roles in energy metabolism, cell growth, and immune system. Overactivity of GSK3 has been tentatively associated with a number of diseases, including bipolar disorder and Alzheimer's disease. Blocking GSK3 could theoretically prevent the death of brain cells, which is apoptosis, although human studies would be needed to confirm this. Other research teams are investigating the potential effects of low doses of lithium for preventing some of the toxic effects of lead exposure. While some cell and animal studies suggest a few potential neuroprotective mechanisms of lithium, their suggestions are still unproven in humans and are mostly theoretical or hypothetical. Basic science suggests that cells depend on lithium for proper development and repair. For example, one animal study in rats has reported that lithium increased the concentration of BDNF, nerve growth factor, and GDNF throughout the brain. These compounds are commonly known as nootropic factors, meaning that they directly stimulate the growth of the brain and its cells. Nootropic factors increase the birth of new neurons to theoretically help regrow the brain and repair brain damage. The birth of a new brain cell is called neurogenesis, and some researchers believe that it's important for recovering from mental illness. Similarly, these nootropic factors might also increase neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to make new connections and to adapt throughout life. Research on human cells is also currently investigating whether subtherapeutic levels of lithium may help to increase VEGF, another type of growth factor that affects blood vessels. This could hypothetically help with the repairing of blood vessels after a brain injury, like a stroke. Growth factors aren't the only area of research. Several studies are looking at whether lithium stimulates stem cells in the blood, brain, and bones, which have been implicated in tissue repair after injury. There's also some research teams looking at how lithium impacts autophagy. Autophagy translates to self-eating, and is biologically equivalent to a detox from a cellular perspective. Autophagy takes old cell material, recycles it, and reuses the components. This process is believed to play a key role in regenerating aging cells and preventing diseases, and it's this process that is therefore believed to be a key player in determining overall lifespan and longevity. According to some preliminary research, lithium may improve glucose transport and glycogen synthesis in insulin-resistant rats. Based on these preliminary findings, the authors of the above study suggest that lithium should be further studied for patients with diabetes and insulin resistance. Some early research in animals suggests that lithium may decrease the risk of bone fractures and promote bone growth. However, the effects of supplemental doses of lithium on bone health in humans have not yet been explored. Lithium may interact with the immune system through several different potential mechanisms. Scientists are currently investigating how lithium might affect the following pathways in cells or animals. Inhibiting GSK3, which might theoretically reduce autoimmunity, conditions in which the immune system attacks the body's own tissues and organs. Increasing the production of immunoglobulin G and immunoglobulin M antibodies, while also potentially decreasing the activity of inflammatory prostaglandins, and suppressing Th1 cells and interferon gamma. Based on a handful of preliminary animal and cell studies, some scientists have proposed that lithium may have some notable effects on the circadian rhythm, which is the body's master clock that helps regulate sleep, digestion, and other important daily activities and processes. Specifically, lithium has been suggested to lengthen the circadian rhythm period, which could theoretically help to treat some of the sleep issues and other problems that arise when the circadian rhythm is desynchronized from its normal 24-hour cycle. Relatedly, some other researchers are currently investigating whether lithium may help to alleviate the various genes and proteins involved in the sleep-wake cycle, which could therefore potentially help the body stay in sync with day and night cycles. In short, this could point to a potential role of lithium in making the body and brain more sensitive to the biological cues from the time of day.